Hello everyone. So we are done with this chapter, force and laws of motion. All the theoretical part is over, right? Your first law of motion, second law of motion, third law of motion, and in the last class we had done law of conservation of momentum, and we had learned the derivation from which we got that MAUA plus MBUB is equal to MAVA plus MBVB. That is, initial momentum is equal to final momentum, or total momentum before collision is equal to total momentum after collision. So whenever you are talking about conservation of momentum, there is no external force acting there, right? Then we also saw the example of a truck which is moving at a very high speed, hits a stationary car. The car begins to accelerate. This is because the momentum lost by the truck is gained by the car. So we learned that momentum is never created or lost. Momentum lost by one object is always gained by the other object. It always exists in an isolated system. We learned that when we are talking about conservation of momentum, it is talking about an isolated system where there is no external unbalanced force. Okay, in today's session we are going to learn how to solve the sums based on law of conservation of momentum, your second law of motion, all those things. So before doing that, you have to be thorough with these formulae, like F is equal to MA, which states your second law of motion. MAUA plus MBUB is equal to MAVA plus MBVB, stands for your law of conservation of momentum. This V is equal to U plus AT, V square is equal to U square plus 2AS, and S is equal to UT plus half AT square. These are all your equations of motion, three equations of motion which are done in your previous chapter, that is motion. Then A is equal to V minus U upon T is your formula for acceleration. P is equal to MV is for momentum. So these formulae you have to keep in mind before we solve the sums. Okay. Now let's start solving the sums given in your textbook. So we will start solving the sums given in your textbook. These sums are given in page number 126 and 127. The sums are all there. We'll start with the first sum. The question goes like this: from a rifle of mass 4 kg, a bullet of mass 50 gram is fired with an initial velocity of 35 meter per second. Calculate the recoiling velocity of the rifle. So what are the things given here? Mass of the rifle, mass of the bullet, and the initial velocity of the bullet that is getting fired out of the gun is 35 meter per second. So we will assume the mass of the bullet as M1, and that is equal to 50 gram, and mass of the rifle as M2, that is equal to 4 kg. We'll convert this kilogram to gram. That is 1 kilogram is equal to 1000 grams. Therefore 4 kilograms will become 4000 grams. So we have got the mass, that is your M1 as 50 grams, and your M2, that is your mass of the rifle, as 4000 grams. It is given 4 kilogram. We are converting that into grams. Now, initial velocity of the full bullet that is getting fired out of the gun, we'll assume that as V1. That is given as 35 meter per second. You have to calculate the recoiling velocity of the gun. So we have to calculate V2. We'll assume the recoiling velocity of the gun to be V2. Okay. So now, see, initially the rifle was at rest. Therefore, initial momentum of the rifle will also be 0. When we did momentum itself, I said the objects that are at rest will have their momentum also 0. So now we will calculate the total momentum of the rifle and the bullet after firing it out from the gun. So we'll be using only that final momentum part, because initial momentum is 0. Okay, I know. Final momentum, initial momentum is equal to final momentum. Initial momentum is 0. Final momentum will also be 0. Right. But the question is not to calculate your initial momentum and final momentum. The question is to calculate your V2. So we are using this formula related to your law of conservation of momentum. Right. It will be easy then. So now, total momentum of the rifle after firing the bullet out from it will be your final momentum. That is your M1 V1 plus M2 V2. While teaching the derivation, I have used the terms MAUA, MBUB, MBVB, MB VB, MA, VA and all. Instead of that, we are using numbers. Instead of A and B, we are using numbers here. Now, final momentum part we will take. That's why we are using this part, that is your M1 V1 plus M2 V2. I said we are not calculating your final momentum or your initial momentum. We are just going to calculate the value of V2 here. See now, as per your law of conservation of momentum, the total momentum of the rifle and the bullet after getting fired out will be 0, because initial momentum is equal to final momentum as per your law of conservation of momentum. But here we are calculating V2. So when I use M1 V1 plus M2 V2 is equal to 0, okay, from this it will be easy for me to calculate V2. My V2 will be M1 V1 upon your M2. Clear? That is what is written here. M1 V1 upon M2. Now, let me use the formula. V2 is equal to M1 V1 upon M2. In the place of M1, I will write 50. That is the mass of the bullet. It is assumed already in the question, you see. Mass of the bullet, M1 is assumed as 50. Into my initial velocity, here it is given. That is my 35 meter per second upon your mass of the rifle. It's given as 4 kilogram. We assume that as M2, which is equal to 4000 grams. So I'm writing 4000. See here, my V2 will be 50 into 35 upon 4000. This 0 and this 0 I can cancel. Then I will write my V2 is equal to 35 into 5, because this 0 is already cut, upon your 400. Here also 1 0 has gone. Okay. Now when you cancel this, when you multiply and divide, you get the value 0.4375. Clear? That is your recoiling velocity of the gun. Clear to you? How did we get the formula for finding the value of V2? We are using M1 V1 plus M2 V2. M1 is given, V1 is given, M2 is given, V2 is not given. So if we want V2, it is M1 V1 upon M2. By substituting the appropriate values which we have taken here, we will get the answer for the recoiling velocity. Clear? Yes. Second sum now. There are two objects of masses 100 gram and 200 gram. They are moving along the same line and in the same direction with velocity 2 meter per second and 1 meter per second. That is, the velocity of object A, initial velocity is 2 meter per second, and initial velocity of the second object is 1 meter per second. They collide with each other, and after collision the velocity of the first object is becoming 1.67 meter per second, and of the second object it is not given. You have to calculate. So obviously we have to go for your law of conservation of momentum, right? That is M1 U1 plus M2 U2 is equal to M1 V1 plus M2 V2. So since two objects are given, we are using the name object A and object B. So mass of object A be assumed as M1, which is equal to 100 gram. Mass of object B will be M2, that is 200 gram. Initial velocity of object A, which is your U1, that is 2 meter per second. Initial velocity of object B, U2 will be 1 meter per second. So after moving in the same line and same direction, the velocity changes of object A to 1.67, and they have not given the value of V2. Now to calculate V2, we have to use the conservation of momentum formula. That is your M1 U1 plus M2 U2 is equal to M1 V1 plus M2 V2. So this is your total initial momentum. Your law of conservation of momentum states that momentum before collision is equal to momentum after collision. Momentum before collision is your initial momentum. So that is your total initial momentum. That can be calculated using the formula M1 U1 plus M2 U2. So in the place of M1 you are substituting 100. In the place of U1 it is 2. In the place of M2 it is 200. In the place of U2 it is 1. So 100 into 2 is 200 and 200 into 1 is 200. So 200 plus 200 will give you 400. Therefore total initial momentum, that is total momentum before collision, is 400 gram meter per second. Now, see here. Your law of conservation of momentum states that total momentum before collision is equal to total momentum after collision. We have calculated your total momentum before collision, that is your initial momentum, total initial momentum as 400. So we want the value of V2. For taking value of V2, we will consider this part, that is m1 v1 plus m2 v2 is equal to 400. Okay, now this v2 is needed by us. Let's substitute the values. 100 for m1, v1 is 1.67 and m2 is 200, v2 is not given. Okay, now when we do 100 into 1.67, this is 100. Okay, 100 into 1.67 will give me 167. Why? It's a decimal number. When you multiply by 100, the decimal point gets removed and it becomes 167. So now this portion will be, that is your, we are doing this, no, m1 v1 plus m2 v2. So this we have calculated as 167 plus 200 v2, which is equal to 400 gram meter per second. Now we want v2. If we want v2, 400 minus 167 upon 200, right? That is what is given here. When you subtract 167 from 400 and divide by 200, you get the answer 1.165. Therefore, the velocity after collision after object B will be 1.165 meter per second. Clear to you? Yes. Now let's solve the next sum. A truck starts from rest and rolls down a hill with a constant acceleration. It travels a distance of 400 meters in 20 seconds. Find its acceleration, find the force acting on it if its mass is 7 tons. Okay, first let's see what are the terms given here. A truck is starting from rest position and then it is rolling down with some acceleration. And it is traveling a distance of 400 meters and it takes a time of about 20 seconds. They want you to find the acceleration and they also want you to find the force if the mass of the truck is given as 7 tons. So first mass can be just given in terms of tons, should be converted into kilogram. 1 ton is equal to 1000 kilogram. Therefore 7 tons will be equal to 7000 kilogram. So mass here will be 7000 kilogram. Now coming to the question, what are the things you have to find? You have to find acceleration and you have to find force acting on it, right? Now distance travelled is given. Distance is always denoted by the letter S, which is equal to 400 meters. Time taken T is given as 20 seconds. And initial velocity given is U, which is 0. Then they want you to calculate acceleration. So whenever these terms, your distance, time, initial velocity, and they are asking acceleration, the easiest way to find is using equation of motion, that S is equal to ut plus half at square. Now let's substitute the value here. In the place, see, we are using this formula. S is equal to ut plus half at square, right? Now in the place of S, I am writing 400 because the distance travelled is 400 meters. U is 0, time is 20 seconds. So this portion fully becomes 0 plus half A is to be found. T square is your 20 square, right? So now this portion completely becomes 0. So you have 400 is equal to 0 plus half into A into 400, right? Now this 2 and 400 can be cancelled 200 times. So you will have 400 is equal to 200A. Therefore your acceleration A is equal to 400 divided by 200, which is equal to 2 meter per second square. That is a unit for acceleration. So we have found the acceleration as 2 meter per second square. Now what is to be found? Force is to be found. Force you have learnt in your second law of motion, that your force is equal to ma. Mass of the truck is 7 tons. 1 ton is equal to 1000 kg, means 7 tons will be equal to 7000 kg. So in the place of mass, I will substitute 7,000. In the place of A, we found it as 2 meter per second square. I'll write 7,000 into 2, which is equal to 14,000 meter per second square. And you should remember kilogram meter per second square, because mass into acceleration. Now, kilogram meter per second square is nothing but your Newton. And the unit for measuring force is also Newton. Therefore, we will write force as 14,000 Newton acting on the truck. Clear to you? Yes. We have got the answer. Okay, look at the next sum now. A stone of 1 kg is thrown with a velocity of 20 meter per second across the frozen surface of a lake and comes to rest after travelling a distance of 50 meter. What is the force of friction between the stone and the ice? So what are the terms given here? Mass of the stone, which is 1 kg. It is initially travelling with a velocity of 20 meter per second. So when the beginning velocity is itself given as 20 meter per second, it is your initial velocity, which is equal to u, that is 20 meter per second. Then it is said that it comes to rest after travelling a distance of 50 meters. Means after travelling, initially it is travelling with a velocity of 20 meter per second. That is your initial velocity. After travelling it is coming to rest, means your final velocity v will be 0 meter per second. And it is travelling a distance of, distance is represented by the letter S, that is equal to 50 meters here. So what are the terms given here? Your mass, your initial velocity, final velocity and distance. So what should you calculate? To calculate force. So force can be calculated by using the formula F is equal to ma. Now we have the value of m as 1 kg. We don't have the value of A. To find out which formula we have to apply for A, let's try. There is one direct option. Like you can use A is equal to V minus U upon T. But let's check whether we can apply this formula. It cannot be applied because value of T is not given. So you have to choose any one equation of motion. So let's go for this equation. V square is equal to U square plus 2AS. From this I will derive the formula for calculating A. So my A will be V square minus U square upon 2S. Why? When your U square goes this side, it becomes negative. And your 2S, when it comes to this side, it becomes in the denominator. That is why this formula is applied. Okay. Now, let's substitute the values as per your formula. What did I say? We'll be using the formula A is equal to V square minus U square upon 2S. Now in the place of V square we'll use 0. Okay. In the place of U square, it is initial velocity is 20 meter per second. So 20 square upon your 2 distance is 50. So now your A, that is A is equal to 0 minus 20 square upon 2 into 50 will now become U is equal, that is your A is equal to, your initial velocity is 20 square and final velocity is 0. 0 will leave, 20 square will be taken by us as what? 20 square will be 400, right? 0 minus 400 upon 100. See, we cannot take this as minus 20 because minus is in the formula, not for the value of your U. Okay. So don't tell me, Miss, minus 20 square is plus 400. It is not minus 20 square. The formula is V square minus U square. So in the place of U, if you have minus, then you can say it will become positive because value of U is 20. If U is going to be minus 20, then in that case U square will become plus 400. But here it cannot be done like that. Minus is there in the formula. So we have to use like that only. 0 minus 400 upon 100. Now this 100 and 400 can be cancelled. So you get what? A is equal to 0 minus 4. Therefore, A is equal to minus 4 meter per second square. So, meter per second square can be written meter s raised to minus 2, because when from denominator where number goes there up, it becomes minus 2. Now, we have calculated the value of A as minus 4. Now, by applying the value of A, we will calculate what is the force applied there. F is equal to ma. In the place of m, I will write n. A we have calculated as minus 4 meter per second square, or ms raised to minus 2. So, my F will be, I said here 1 kg is there. So, my answer will become minus 4 kilogram meter s raised to minus 2 or per second square. So, this kg meter s raised to minus 2 or kilogram meter per second square can be written as Newton. Therefore, my F will be minus 4 kilogram meter per second square. This meter per kilogram meter per second square can be written as Newton, because unit for force is Newton. So, I will write F is equal to minus 4 Newton. That is how you have got the answer here. Clear? Yes. So, we have done 4 sums now. I hope it's clear to you. Keep practicing. Okay. I have attached you one worksheet. Please practice that. Okay, and get ready for the next session. Till then, take care. God bless you all. Have a good day.